Yeah, the fanatic. Well, we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina, upstate, A64. Yeah, TFANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Show for sports fans by sports fans. It's your boy Coach I. And you know I got the stat guy with me. What's up, stat guy?
What's going on, Coach?
Hey, man. It's that time, man. Number 1 versus number 2. I think this is the first 1 versus 2 we've had all year. So, the Tennessee-Alabama was the game of the year ranking-wise up until this point. But since Tennessee is now tied with Ohio State in the AP poll, this is number 1 versus number 2. CBS, prime time on CBS anyway. 3:30 game this Saturday. I know a lot of Dog fans, and I think maybe even some Tennessee fans was hoping this was going to be a night game, but we all know CBS only gets one night game a year, and they use that one on the Texas A&M Alabama showdown, and the CBS game of the week. SEC game of the week always goes to CBS, and this was going to be it regardless of what was going to happen last week. So how you feeling coming into this week, stat guy? I know the Carolina Gamecocks didn't do you right this weekend, man, but it was a lot of good football on. How you feeling, man?
I mean, not only that, man, but hey, tip of the cap to Tennessee, man. I had a blast with y'all in the comment section last week on that Kentucky video. Y'all came at my head, and boy, couldn't I have been more wrong. Y'all are who y'all thought y'all were, and I definitely was not right. But man, y'all laid into Kentucky last week. So tip of the cap too. Enjoyed going back and forth in the comment section. It's always fun. But yeah, man, just enjoyed a great weekend of college football, minus what happened down in Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, man. Definitely shout out to the Tennessee fans, man. If all team fans showed up like Tennessee fans did in the comments, man, we have a great community here. We like talking trash, man. Tennessee fans came in, talked trash, had stats to back it up. Didn't get personal. We love that kind of trash talk, man. Just keeping it fun and free. But on to the game of the week, man. Just a recap for last week. Like you said, Tennessee smashed Kentucky. It wasn't even a game. I think that Tennessee, Will Levis threw three picks. I think 2 of them went to the same dude. And of course, Tennessee was able to stifle the run, including Chris Rodriguez, and Tennessee was able to score at will. They didn't hang the 50 burger, but they didn't need to. It was a straight just rout 44-6 against Kentucky. On the other hand, the dogs, they won handily. We had a bad third quarter. Some turnovers by Stetson and a fumble by Kenny McIntosh gave Florida a little life in the third quarter. They scored 17 in the third quarter. I'm gonna tell you how bad it felt watching it. I looked up, they had scored 17. So basically, again, of course, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I was like, man, I looked at my boy. I was like, man, they scored 3 touchdowns on us. He was like, they only scored 17. I said, well, it feels like they scored 3 touchdowns on us in one quarter. You know what I'm saying? We fumbled the ball and throwing picks right in and giving them the ball at the 20, 25, 30 on our side of the field. But nevertheless, 42-20, we played out. Like I said, outside of that quarter, we played pretty good. Florida just ain't got it all, man. I know everybody thought AR was going to be that guy, but he's a great athlete. He's not much of a quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. As a side note for Dog fans that haven't been on social media today, Brenton Cox did get released from the team, dismissed from the team. Couldn't happen to a better guy. So on to this week, man. Talk about the UGA offense versus the Tennessee defense. I know coming in, man, everybody talks about Tennessee offense, but them Dogs ain't too shabby on offense, to say the least. Tennessee does have the number 1 total offense in the nation. But guess who's coming up in number 2, stat guy?
That'd be them Dogs.
That'd be them Dogs. I'll give you 2 guesses, but you only needed 1. That's right. Tennessee is number 1 in total offense, and Georgia is number 2. Now, Tennessee on defense, man, they are the number 9 rush defense in the nation. So they holding people to 92 yards a game. But them Dogs, I'm pretty sure you got the numbers. Give me the exact numbers on that rushing game for the Dogs.
And so you're looking at a Georgia offense. They're putting up 42 points a game. You talked about that rushing 202 a game on the ground. And normally when you see that 200 number on the ground, you're thinking maybe like 150 or another 200 in the air. Nah, don't get it twisted. Stetson's still slinging that thing at a ridiculous 328 a game, throwing up 530 yards of total offense a football game. Madden stats, baby.
Hey, that's how it is, man. It's like, I have said all along, said it at the beginning of the year, saying it now, to beat Tennessee, you have to not only, listen, it's one of those things like you have a top scorer in basketball. You're not going to stop him. You can only try to slow him down and keep up with him. That's what you have to try to do with Tennessee. So against this Tennessee defense, we all know that secondary isn't the strength or the strong point. They did have 3 picks against Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? But Georgia's a different animal. I think Georgia will be able to take advantage of some of that secondary because I think we will be able to keep them honest on the ground. And if you can't keep them honest on the ground and they can just tee off on you, pin their ears back, I think that's the problem. But I think this UGA offense will be able to put up points. What's that Tennessee defense looking like?
Yeah, you're talking about a defense that only gives up 21 points a game. You called it with the 92 yards a game on the ground. They are giving up 300 through the air. Hey, Tennessee fans, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I thought the run defense was good because the pass defense wasn't. Couldn't have been more wrong. And maybe it is still a combination of y'all's offense putting pressure on people, but y'all showed up Saturday, stuffed what I feel is a very good running back and running team, and then allowed y'all to just walk the dog with them. So I think this defense is legit. They do give up stuff in their secondary, but they can make up for it with how elite their offense is.
Well, like we've alluded to, they got the number 9 rush defense, but because the pass defense has been so underwhelming, their total defense, they're ranked number 82, where as going up against the number 2 offense in the nation. On the flip side of that, we're talking about the Tennessee explosive offense against the UGA defense. That UGA defense that doesn't like people to get in the end zone, but lately, hey man, when you give people short fields, hey, it's what you gonna do. But we also gave up a lone touchdown to Florida because of some undisciplined eyes by our freshman safety, Malachi Starks, looking in the backfield, had a guy running wide open. He was supposed to be covering over the top, and he gave up I guess it was like 60-something yards passing touchdown. So this Tennessee offense, man, Jalen Hyatt has been on a blaze. It doesn't matter. I know people said, I saw a lot of people on Twitter when he scored those 5 touchdowns against Bama, it's like, 5 touchdowns, and he's Blitnikov, like sarcastically. But before that, he had 5 touchdowns. Since then, he scored 2 touchdowns in each game, I think. So the dude's on the tear. Now Cedric Tillman's back. You got Smalls at running back. So, and hitting the hookers, he's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the pundits are saying he's the front runner for the Heisman. Give me the official numbers on that. Number 1 total offense of Tennessee.
Yeah, you're looking at a team that scores 49 points a game, and what a shame they can only run the ball for 199 yards a game, but that's okay because they're throwing it for 363, and just the ridiculous numbers of the offense that they're putting up. I mean, you're talking about a team that's putting up over 550 yards a game. Like, we haven't seen stuff like this in a long time, especially in the SEC, where a lot of the SEC teams pride themselves on being defensive stoppers and not giving up these type of numbers.
Well, I think the SEC, we might still can claim it because everybody's giving up numbers, but since Joe Burrow and the LSU offense hit the scene, man, I don't know if we can really lay claim to not having offenses or having defenses that can stop somebody, because the 2019 Tigers were good at offense. 2020 Alabama, so in 2021 Alabama wasn't a slouch either. So this Tennessee offense, I know I've seen some Tennessee people and other people compare it to the LSU 2019. Hey, they can definitely score just like that. I don't know if they have the three-headed monster wide receivers that I'd take. Like Jalen Hyatt's playing at a high clip, and I like Tillman, but LSU had a lot. You know what I'm saying? And Smalls is good, but I don't know if he's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But the UGA defense, Hey, man. While we have given up points to some teams, we haven't given up a lot of yards. That's the difference. So give us the official numbers on the UGA defense.
And well, you mentioned giving up points. Let's be honest, it's not like y'all have given up a whole bunch of points this year either, because you're only giving up 11 points a game, right?
Hey,
I mean,
man.
so through 8 games, you've given up 88 points. Oh me, oh my. And you talked about that run defense, 85 yards a game, and you're thinking, okay, well maybe teams are airing it out on you. 177 a game. I mean, just the defensive numbers that y'all are putting up is it's still y'all's bread and butter, even after all the starters that found their way into the NFL after last season.
That's right, man. And our secondary is much better than it was last year. Our front is not as explosive or as disruptive, I would say, as last year. And we took a hit this past weekend. Nolan Smith has a pec injury, and Kirby said it's not looking good. He's pretty much doubtful. So we're going to be playing some young guys up front. And contrary to what everybody likes to think, like, oh, what DB is going to do this, what DB is going to do that against their wide receivers. Listen, man, if you can't stop Tennessee on the ground, it doesn't really matter what you're doing against the pass game, because the pass game is going to get yards. You have to be able to stop them on the ground. I think you said earlier they're averaging 199 rushing yards a game. So it's not just they go fast and they can throw it. They still run the ball as well. And I went back and watched the game from last year. That's one of the reasons why we was able to stop Tennessee, because we was able to. They came into the game averaging like 217 yards rushing against us last year, and I know through the third quarter they only had like 71 yards rushing. Tennessee's gonna get passing yards. That's just what it is. We'll throw some different things at them to try to slow the passing down. But the key is we're gonna have to stop the rushing like we have the past 5 years against Tennessee. So that's what I'm thinking. Now without Nolan Smith, we're gonna have to have some people step up. We did get Jalen Carter back. We got him a couple of snaps against Florida. Third down pretty much only, but he'll be a full go unless something happens. He should be a full go this weekend, and getting pressure up the middle on Hendon Hooker is how you try to disrupt that Tennessee offense. What is the spread on this game and the over under? Let's go to some predictions.
So the over under is going to be 60.5, which with how good both these defenses are, that seems a little high, but maybe it gets there. And then as far as the spread, from a couple different sources that I normally get it from, it's between like 9 and 10.5. So I'm guessing it'll probably be closer to that 9, maybe 8.5 by game time. So we're gonna go with a spread of 9 for our predictions and the over under of 60.5. What you like?
Well, the Monday or Sunday or Monday after they beat Alabama, Vegas went ahead and put out the initial spread for this game, which was 10.5. And like you said, I think it's moved a little bit down to about 9, and I think this spread will move towards the 8.5 mark by the end of the week. Listen, man, you know, a lot of times when we do these previews, and especially when we do the Clemson previews, we talk about home records, and Clemson hasn't lost a home game since 2016. They're like, I don't know, I think at this point they're like 40-something and 1 or whatever, but those Dogs are right there with them. So since 2017, the Dogs have only lost 1 game at the house. They're like 32-1 or some number like that. And this game is in Athens. I think that will help. I mean, I think Tennessee is definitely one of the best teams in the nation. I thought they would be one of the best offenses in the nation coming in. I think Georgia's a team that can score with them and slow them down here and there. So my prediction is going to be 42-28. I told you that the Monday after the Alabama game. I told you that last week, and I'm telling you that now. UGA 42-28 over the Vols.
I like it. Well, real quick, man, I want to give a shout out to one of the comments last week from Paul O'Neill. He told me to put my money where my mouth was and rock some a Tennessee hat or some Tennessee gear. Look, man, I'm ugly and orange, and that ain't happening. But I will hit you with a little rocket top. You'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. So that's for you, Paul O'Neill. Hey, look, Tennessee fans, I'm going to let y'all know. Coach is a Bulldog alum. He has a show that'll come out tonight when this video drops at 8 p.m. called Respect the Hedges with a bunch of former Dogs. right? He picked his dogs to win. Y'all need to get in the comments and blow them up because the dogs are going to be heavy in there too. But look, man, I was as wrong as could be wrong last week. And so you know what? You're not going to like this, coach. But I'm telling you right now, Tennessee is coming to Athens, right? They're coming to Athens. They're going to knock off your reigning national champions to turn y'all into the defending national champions. And Tennessee gets this dub 38-34. Go Orange.
Well, since you picked Tennessee, I think you pretty much sealed their fate. So there it is. Tennessee fans, Georgia fans, get in the comments. Tell us what you think the score is going to be. We don't plan on hearing that Rocky Top that much this weekend. Again, we won't be able to stop them, but we will be able to slow them down. This is Coach I for the Stat Guy, the Fan Addict. Go Dogs.
Revolves.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?